Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the nocturnal planet Mars. Mars is really your basic animal instinct. It is one of the nocturnal planets, which means that you can't readily understand it logically. It is one of those planets that you can really truly connect with only on an emotional, visceral level. It is the unconscious part of your ego, whereas the sun is the more logical, conscious part of your ego that you can kind of access and be like, oh yeah, like I can logically understand that that is a part of me that I want to project to the world. Mars is the part that you might not be so readily able to connect with intellectually. You can only connect with it if you feel it. If I talk to you about your feelings and how you feel whenever you're angry or whenever somebody like turns you on, that is your Mars. Mars is also that instinct and that drive that propels you forward and kind of allows you to go after the things that you want. So the things that your sun wants and your moon wants, Mars is the one that kind of gets you there. How is it that you're going to be able to get those things that you want? Well, Mars is the one that's going to tell you how it is that you're going to be able to get those things. So first, I'm going to give you some characteristics. Then I'm going to talk to you about what really ticks off your Mars, like the things that make you angry. Then I'm going to talk to you about the things that kind of turn on that specific Mars. And lastly, just some general turn-offs. So if you like somebody who has a specific Mars, this will be useful so that you can, make sure that you're not doing those things that are going to turn them on. But today we're going to talk about Mars in Scorpio. And that is a really good placement for Mars. So Scorpio is fixed water. So even though modern astrologers and in modern astrology, we talk about Scorpio being ruled by Pluto, remember that traditionally Scorpio is ruled by Mars. So Mars being in domicile, being at home in Scorpio, means that it's very easy for Mars to get its Mars things done. Remember that the planets, they're kind of like people and they're just trying to get their job done to help you out in your life, to get the things that you want, right? Because remember that Mars, really, that's what Mars wants. He wants you to get the things that you want in this life, the things that your sun wants to achieve, the things that your moon needs to be happy. That's what Mars is trying to get. And when Mars is in Scorpio, it is at home, so that means that it can do those things very easily because the nature of the sign allows it to get the job done very well. The motivation of Mars in Scorpio is to go deep. They really want to probe the depths of people and of life. Really, this Mars is, remember that it's at home, so it can act very well. But where Mars is also at home in Aries, Mars in Aries acts very quickly. And whenever you do something really quickly, you can be kind of brash and not very thoughtful or not very methodic in the way that you're acting. But all of that is fixed in Mars and Scorpio, because Scorpio is a very methodical sign and it really takes its time to get things done. And that is because of the nature of the sign. The sign is fixed, which means that it's already on a steady course and it is more mature, more sophisticated, just more sophisticated in its way of acting. So Mars in Scorpio is not really the warrior, he's more like the experienced general who really sits back and thinks about the course of action before he actually takes that course of action. So this is a really comfortable place for Mars. The one downside is that Mars in Scorpio can be a little bit vindictive because that's just the nature of Scorpio. So just watch out people who cross this Mars, okay? They don't forget and they are very good at getting whatever they want done. So whatever that is, they have the endurance to stick to it because they're fixed. This Mars they really stick to their guns. And if they're dedicated to something, if they decided that they're gonna get something done, it's going to get accomplished. Because as I've said, this Mars is very comfortable, and not only that, but Scorpio is fixed energy. So that means that they have a lot of endurance and they could survive a lot of struggle and a lot of suffering. Because remember that Scorpio goes deep and goes through the darkest depths of despair and just experience in this life. They experience some dark things. So this Mars can go to hell and back, okay? They can go through anything and be just fine. So what ticks off Mars and Scorpio? The first thing that ticks them off is disrespect of any kind. They won't stand for it because they are very dignified and they just will not take somebody being disrespectful to them. And it's not really in an ego sort of way. It's more like that's not right, and I'm not gonna let you cross me or disrespect me. They just don't put up with it. Another thing that really takes them off is being thought of as weak. They will show you how unweak they are, and they're not weak, so just be careful, watch out. Okay, so what turns them on? What does Mars and Scorpio like? The thing that turns them on the most is a display of loyalty. If you're a person who's been in their life for a long time and you show your loyalty to them by taking their side whenever they're in a disagreement or whenever something comes up that requires you to come to their defense, they are going to pay you back for that just eternally, because to them loyalty is the most important thing. And so if ever you have the opportunity of going to bat for a Mars and Scorpio person, for a Scorpio person period, but a Mars and Scorpio person, go to their defense and take their side, and you'll have their loyalty and their love forever. So that's important. The longer that you stick to them, remember that also Scorpio really cares a lot about trust. So how can you really trust somebody unless you've seen the way that they're going to behave in the long run? So for a Mars and Scorpio person, they really value people that have been there for the long haul, people who have stuck and survived the test of time, people who have stuck around and survived the test of time. So that's really important to them. People that stick around and stay forever and ever and ever, that's who they're going to really love and be turned on by. I didn't put that disloyalty is like things that tick them off or things that make them mad, because disloyalty doesn't so much like tick them off as much as it crushes them. It just really hurts them because they are so loyal. And to have somebody who has been loyal to them then go and turn their back against them or really, you know, hurt them in some way, that just, it just crushes them, because they pick the best people. They really know how to pick people, and once they pick somebody, they're just like 100% sure of that person. So if that person goes and breaks their trust or does something disloyal to them, it's absolutely crushing for a Scorpio. Another thing that really turns on Mars and Scorpio is people who open up to them. Because remember, their one goal in life is to probe deep, to go deep. So if they can go deep with you, they're gonna be absolutely just into it. But on that same vein, it really depends. If you're a person who's always talking and you're very expressive and you're always going on, really what is there to probe? You kind of have to hang back a little bit, be a little bit mysterious. Make it so that they're really digging for treasure. Don't put your treasure just out there everywhere, because then it's not really fun. Because remember that Scorpio likes to be the detective and they really like to dig. And if there's nothing to dig, then what's the fun in that? They really like to be the one who cracks you open. So if that's not really your style, that's not really how you are, just fake it till you make it. But they would know if you were faking it. They really would, because they do their homework. Another thing that I've noticed really turns on Scorpio people, but Mars and Scorpio people, is somebody who they feel that they need to protect, somebody that needs protection. So like your Neptune or Pisces type people, they're really into that, because they feel that those people are kind of like angels in this world and they need protecting from the world is so harsh and horrible, and I want to be the one to protect them. That is very Mars and Scorpio. They're very protective of the innocent and people who are just good, you know, that Pisces angel archetype. They're really into that. That's why there's a huge like trope in movies and literature, the whole like Pisces Scorpio or Neptune Pluto love. That is very important. I'm gonna be making a video on that soon. So that's the video for today, guys. If you liked it, make sure you give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to my channel. I put out astrology videos every single week, and I will see you in the next one.